This is a box I've been waiting for far too long, and within this box is a camera that enables you to capture all of this. Now that camera is of course the Insta360 X5. Now the reason I eventually pulled the trigger on the X5 was that I was looking for a motorbike dashcam. And if you search for motorbike dashcams, you'll find either cheap and crap or expensive at maybe 4K, but it's 4K footage from one or two fixed points, and realistically you can't do much exciting with those two fixed points. The Insta360 X5 however gives you good footage and a full 360 view, so should somebody drive into the front, the back, the side of you, you're going to capture it. Now in the box, I didn't buy the Moto bundle, but I did buy a few accessories, so we'll go through those now. The first one is the Action Invisible Selfie Stick. It's a carbon fiber selfie stick, so slightly more rigid than the standard. But on Black Friday, I did also get the free Invisible Selfie Stick plus tripod. So we'll compare the two of those in a bit and understand if it's worth investing in the Action Invisible Selfie Stick if you get the other one for free. Also on Black Friday, Insta360 threw in this hard shell case, bright yellow. I don't think you're going to lose it, but we'll see how useful that is in a bit. The other kind of key mount that I got was the heavy duty clamp. I understand this enables you to mount it to pretty much any kind of tube, and obviously handlebars, foot pegs, etc. Key places to mount. And the main event itself, the Insta360 X5, 8K 360 action camera. Now it's 8K split over the two lenses, so realistically the output that you get is a maximum of 4K, but it is very nice footage, and depending on how you kind of reframe it, you can get some really interesting shots. But we'll put the brown box to the side and we'll get into each of the items that I now have. So let's start with the freebie. It's the Insta360 selfie stick plus tripod. We get into the box. As I say, this was free on Black Friday, I think that's why it's thrown in. I probably wouldn't have bought it otherwise. I have plenty of tripods, I have plenty of small tripods. Take out the polystyrene. It's a very nice solid build. It feels metallic-y, lightweight but sturdy. There's a push release button on the underneath that allows you to spread those feet. And there's a knurled kind of texture to the top of that extension stick. I didn't actually realise at the time, but if you're smart enough and you pull hard enough, that stick extends to just over 1 metre in length. And then to fold it back down, you simply collapse the legs and it clips back and locks back into place. So yeah, very cool, quite a nice freebie. Would I have bought it? I don't know. Would I recommend it? If you want a tripod, then yes, absolutely. Now, the Action Invisible Selfie Stick is the one that I actually spent my money on. It was, from memory, it was around about £25. It's kind of a carbon fiber build, I believe. So it's a lighter build, it's very sturdy. It does also extend to a similar length of, I think it's just over 1 metre, which for me is plenty. The idea is that I will put the Action Invisible Selfie Stick on the heavy duty clamp, and that will enable me to pretty much get any angle that I want from my bike, whether it's from the handlebars to foot pegs. So yeah, good build. I think I'll use that more often than the selfie stick plus tripod, but nice to have both. So compare the two side by side, the Action Invisible Selfie Stick on the right there, and the selfie stick plus tripod on the left. You can see the tripod variant is kind of shorter but fatter. I would say probably more compact. And the Action Invisible Selfie Stick is, yeah, lighter weight, but a touch longer. Now the heavy duty clamp, again, I purchased this one. I think it was around about £30. Quick start instructions, a small bag which contains some leverage to really clamp down the screws, an Allen key, and kind of a GoPro style mount to go on the top of the heavy duty clamp. So yeah, you can kind of use this kind of plasticky tool to give you extra leverage to really clamp down on the thumb screws there to make sure you get a nice secure mount and ensure that the mount and of course the camera don't go anywhere whilst you're riding. So yeah, the head has got a nice swivel on it to pretty much get whichever angle you desire. It's got a nice ratchety feel there as well, so it gives you kind of distinct stops. It's not a pure friction fit. It actually slots into positions. Now this is how I'm planning to use it most frequently. My vision is that the Action invisible selfie stick will go onto the heavy duty clamp, and then that in turn will go onto, as I say, handlebars, foot pegs, frame G's, etc., and give a bit of distance from the bike. Okay, so that's kind of the accessories. The freebie from Black Friday was this hard shell yellow case. I'm not sure how much I used this in particular. It's quite bulky, but it might be good to throw some of the clamps and some of the bits in if it goes into your bag, or if you want a bit more protection than the kind of standard case that comes with the camera. It could be a good option, I don't know. Is it for me? Not sure, we'll find out. Anyway, on to the main event. So the Insta360 X5. So the external packaging is kind of as expected. It's yeah, nice and clean. Got some instructions and examples and specs around the side. Open it up. You've got obviously the camera nicely slots into the kind of the foam insert on the left hand side. Every moment, any angle, no limits. And that is exactly kind of why I purchased the camera and kind of why I'll be using it as a Dashcam Plus. Accessories with the camera in a little box. Packet number one is some instructions and kind of how to connect the camera, a bit of protection, wind guard covers, some stickers, yeah, quick start guide and warranty information. I'll keep the quick start guide to the side, and I will keep the how to connect the camera to the side as well. Everything else for the time being can go back in the box. And finally is a kind of soft shell case for the camera, and you can already see how much smaller and compact the soft shell is to that yellow hard shell case. Inside this soft shell case is a microfiber cloth and the charging cable. So the camera itself, we'll zoom in a little bit here, kind of see the helpful tips before use sticker on the front of the touchscreen there. The protective film on both lenses as well. The helpful tip shows you where the SD card slot is, where the charging port is. On one side you've got the power button, the quick action button, microphone, speaker. On the front you've got the X5 logo and the windshield protected microphone. On the bottom you've got screw mount options and the quick release options there. Battery compartment on the side as well, and as I say, the SD card slot is in there as well. So we put the SD card in there. It does tell you what to go for. I think it's a V30 or faster. If you're shooting an 8K 30, that's a lot of data going on there at quite a pace. So you do want a good micro SD card there. And you see, as I shut the battery compartment again, those orange indicators letting you know that it's not quite shut properly. So you want to make sure that if you are opening the battery or changing the battery, you want to make sure that you cannot see those orange indicators. So turn the camera on and you'll see the language options, and essentially just follow the instructions. So format the SD card, connect the app. In the app there's many options that I won't go through now, but basically what you want to do is touch the camera connect button at the bottom, and it will basically guide you through how to connect it. Once you've connected it, you may be prompted to update the firmware. Now the firmware for the camera has since release actually added and incorporated some basically new features to the camera. So there's an upgrade to Insta360 and a few kind of filters that I probably won't use, but it's worthwhile keeping it up to date. Now the only settings I'm going to change before I actually go out and shoot is within the video encoding. You want to make sure it's on H.265, not 264, and you want to make sure the bitrate is set to high. And then the only other thing I will do, just for personal preference, is I'll set the sharpness to low. This enables me to kind of add the sharpness back in post, as opposed to having it kind of process that little bit extra in camera. Other than that, let's get to the bike. So right, we have the heavy duty clamp with a kind of horizontal to vertical mount in between and a quick release mount there. I didn't show those in the unboxing. They were not from Insta360. They were a couple of quid on Amazon. But what we'll do, we'll attach the heavy duty clamp to the handlebars and we'll just get going and we'll sort of see what footage that gives you. So tighten it right up. If you recall, the heavy duty clamp does come with a wrench if you like to really clamp down those thumb screws. I haven't done that just for this short ride, but it's probably worthwhile doing if you want it to stay exactly where it is. There's a fair bit of vibration that will come through the handlebars when you're riding your bike, so you just want to make sure that isn't over the course of miles, that doesn't slowly loosen the grip that the heavy duty clamp has on your handlebars. So yeah, I've not used the wrench, but you can really see I'm putting some pressure in there to really tighten that down. And again, this soft kind of lens cover I got from Amazon, it wasn't the Insta360 branded version, but I mean, silica is silicone and it will do the job. So right, let's power it on. I've turned the camera so the lens is actually facing the direction of me, just to avoid any kind of stitching lines going across my person and making that footage look a bit weird. But let's press record and let's see how that looks. So this is it. So this is that position driving towards the Severn Bridge here between Bristol and Wales. You can see a really nice wide field of view, and it really, the colours there and the footage there are just brilliant. And obviously being a 360 camera, you can reframe it in post. The camera is static here, but you can kind of see I'm able to do that, spinning, rotating, shot to then face forward. I don't think I'll have it exactly like this in the future. I think I'll have it raised up slightly so you're not looking through the windshield. But yeah, again, just the options that this camera gives you are just incredible. And then you can also, if you want to be a bit funky, you can go do the kind of tiny world sort of view on that. Try and get all the footage into frame, something a bit more creative. Now the second mounting option, I have used the heavy duty clamp with the Action Invisible selfie stick and then attached the camera to the top of that. I've got the quick release and horizontal to vertical mount in between, but I'm not really utilising the capability of that, so I won't go into the details there. But again, I've got it just attached to the frame of the bike, going down to the foot pegs. Just want to make sure it's really tightly on there, especially when you've got the selfie stick extended. It just adds a bit more leverage and effectively makes the camera sort of feel a bit heavier for the clamp. So you want to make sure that's really clamped down. But yeah, let's press record and let's get going, and we'll see how that looks. So this is the camera kind of hanging off the back, hanging off the foot peg, obviously zoomed right out, but as you kind of reframe and zoom in, you get quite a nice, almost third-person-y kind of view on that. You really get a lot of yourself in the kind of left third, and then as much of the environment in the rest of the frame as you want. I captured my phone disappearing and kind of was able to track back and see that. I absolutely smashed down the road on that ride, but that's a story for another day. The third option I've got here is this is the camera mounted on my chin. Again, such a nice wide field of view. We'll probably tweak it slightly because you can see at the top left there, the chin of my helmet is kind of in frame and sort of ruining the footage a little bit there, but it's the first ride, give me a break, we'll figure it out next time. So yeah, that's that. That's the unboxing and kind of first ride and first few mounts of the Insta360 X5 on my bike. So first impressions, I am really impressed with the camera. We've got a few tweaks and a few trials to make on the settings, but immediately this is such a step up from my GoPro Hero 7, just in terms of versatility. I still love my GoPro, I'll still keep it and I'll still use it for things, but I think this will be my go-to camera for those motorbike shots. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click a like for me, click a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.